Jill Munroe here. Now, I know you watch Ballers tonight. We have a lot to talk about. Ricky's memory lapse, Seifert and Charles, drama. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
A little Anderson pack to get us going. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. What's up, Ballers fans? Welcome to Season 3, Episode 4, Ride and Die. We're about to talk all the dirt in this episode. But first, I'm Jill Munroe. You can follow me everywhere at Stiletto Jill, and to my left.
What's up, Jill? Hey, guys. Suzette here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Suzette Babb. Hi, Nate.
Hey, guys. What's going on? Excited to be back this week.
Welcome back, Nate. We missed you.
I know. I missed the guest, too.
Yes, you missed.
It's Nate Miller here.
But did Nate miss us, though?
I did.
He said he did.
I did. I missed you guys.
Except for me.
I felt there was a hole in my chest.
Oh.
You can find me on social media at DogLikeNate, and my name's Nate Miller. And to my left,
Hey, everyone. It's Ivanna. You can follow me on Twitter at Ivanna L. Williams and on Instagram at Ivanna.Williams.
Okay, are we ready to get into
I am.
Yes, for sure.
all the salaciousness? There wasn't that much salaciousness in this episode. It started off a little,
Yeah.
a little bit.
you know, a little bit.
And then
It's
kind
to
of mellowed
come.
out.
Yeah,
And then
it started off
roller
on the
coaster,
edge. You know,
I
we
think.
come in and we see Spencer and Chloe
Yeah.
having a little Skype connection,
Love it. She's
FaceTime,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And where is she from?
I have no idea.
I remember her from other stuff. I have to go and
She
look
had a
it
very
up.
familiar face, but I thought it
Yeah.
was just me.
This
Okay.
can sound really bad. Which one is Chloe?
Right.
What?
Spencer's
Spencer's
hooking up with her.
old nude girlfriend
It's
that
always
is
the old flame that's
from
back.
Vegas.
It's
Oh,
so
okay.
mean.
The brunette.
Right,
The brunette.
Nah, I
Remember? And so he was telling her to arch your back, toot the booty up.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember
so-
that. I
yeah.
remember
Help him
that.
out.
Yeah.
Help him out. I know.
Because
I mean,
That's true.
you gotta get the job done.
Kinda girl.
I'm glad you agree with me.
because I
do.
mean, I thought Spencer was straight where he was, and he understood that his little swimmers were all intact, but apparently not. We're still going through that process.
He's getting help.
So
Yeah.
he had to pop himself off, and Chloe gratefully gave a visual imagery to get it started. So,
Yeah.
you know, Spencer's so commitment phobic. What you guys think about that? Like, how do we feel about that? Maybe he'll like a girl this season?
I mean, shoot, she did that for him. Like, she's trying to, I mean, I feel like that's a very intimate conversation. Like, I don't know if my stuff works, you know? So, like, I don't know. Why wouldn't you make her your girlfriend? That's such an intimate conversation.
I agree, but it
At least
seems
get on that track, like, start towards it.
it just seemed kind of casual, though. It wasn't like a.
It's always casual.
It's
with
always,
Spencer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they really
So maybe
want
he's
to
too
have
open?
him have a woman, but there's 30 minutes like we talked about. There's not enough time for it to happen, and women love to help men. So it's like,
That's
oh,
true.
you want to know if you can have kids? Like, I want to be a part of that. Well, girl,
That's
you're not
true.
going to be a part of it. Like,
Well,
really?
maybe, I mean, but she seems to understand that she's just helping him out. Like, even from the way she says it, she's like, oh, it's admirable. Like, you know.
So it's like no biggie.
It doesn't
Right.
seem like she's saying, oh, I'm expecting you,
She's all
if
about
you can have
business.
kids, that I'm going to have those kids. It seems like she kind of gets that they're just like having fun right now, and he's in this awkward situation and needs a
put
hand.
himself
But what's
off.
the point
He
of
needs a
having
hand with his
fun
hand.
if you're checking if you can have children? Don't you know?
I mean, those are two
eventually-
Because it's
separate-
not,
yeah.
yeah, it's not about the children. It's about
His
the
body and
yeah,
his
and the
age.
Well, and his
the
manhood,
pride.
right? Like your
Right.
ability to have kids.
Yeah.
A lot of
The
men attach that to their
validity, yeah.
manhood.
That's true.
Yeah, because then he would have to bear with the hard drive jokes.
Yeah, you know.
Which are never ending.
So, you know, there were a lot of things sort of dealing with manhood in varied ways in this
Yeah.
episode. So let's kind of switch topics for a second and move back. Let's talk about Ricky and his situation. So Ricky's at home cooking in his nice little robe as Dennis and T.
Every single morning,
As
they
one
do.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the lavish life, the lifestyle.
Dennis checking his Instagram,
Yeah.
all the social media.
Yeah.
He's
Dennis
like
is
so hip to that.
Active on social media. He follows Tom Brady, and he discovers, while actually looking to like Giselle's photos, that Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, and Rob Gronkowski are working out in Boston
Yeah.
together. Now, I'm assuming, I don't remember Ricky signing with the team last season.
No, I don't remember either.
But apparently he signed with the Patriots,
Yeah,
and
that's what it
it's
seems
the
like.
Patriots way. So he's a little upset that he didn't get the call to come work out.
Right.
I'd be real pissed.
Right. So we know that Ricky is kind of past his superstar peak. We don't know quite how long, how far removed, if he is still in the sort of arena to be that star guy. Do you think it's telling that they put something like this in? Ricky is always in peril as far as his work situation is. I feel like every season that's been a reoccurring theme with Ricky. What's going to happen this upcoming season? Are we tired of that? Do we want to just have him have a team and focus on his development with potentially the baby? Or are we okay with him still going through these issues with as far as being accepted by a team and if his personality fits in?
I definitely want him to have a more stable career. I would like to see both at the same time, honestly. Him, just being stable in that manner, and then what is he going to do with this baby? Because girl is moving.
Right, which came out of nowhere again.
Yeah.
We kind of discussed this really quickly, but it's a half an hour show.
Right.
And Suzette brought up that there are probably things that they want to include in that 30 minutes that they just can't for time's sake. That kind of, for us, maybe feels like it's holes left in.
But if they know they already have season 4, and there shouldn't have to be a rush, instead of having certain
they
players.
just found out after the season was
That's
shot.
true.
Yeah,
but
after they were done.
But so I'm kind of over it. Like, we waited for him to know if he needed the love to find a team, but I'm still confused what team he's on. So I would have rather had him find a team. I would even love to have some of these episodes where we actually see like a game day, like something like that going on.
I think we're always in the off season though. If you notice, we're never in season. It's always the off season. So because I guess money managers, I guess they should be active all times of year. I'm not really sure, but they seem to be really active during the free agent period, which is interesting to me because, again, they're not agents, they're the money manager.
Right, but then if it's going to be the off season, then I want to see the relationships, having a child, other things I might be into, the training, not that they're always just trying to figure it out. Am I going to have a team? I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't want to jump ahead too far, but because of what happens later, I'm hoping that this is not so much of a him gelling with the team type of issue, but that is related to his current issue.
Okay.
And that maybe he forgot the invite or something like that. And I'm hoping that that's the direction that they're going in, because I also don't want to see him get dropped from another team and then look for another team, and it's like, who's he gonna play for?
But doesn't it seem that Spencer's abandoned him in a way? Because we haven't seen Spencer with him, and he still owes him the money.
I don't know if I would say abandoned, because they were still in Vegas and they still. I don't know if it's abandoned, but he definitely is not giving him as much attention,
right?
Because of the Vegas thing.
Yeah, because he's focusing on Spencer.
In his mind, he's moved up a level, and the Vegas thing is like another tier, and all that stuff is almost below him now.
Which is sad, because they've really helped him out. To take a chance on him.
Well, hopefully
maybe it'll change.
Yeah, that dynamic is touched on in some way. I'm hoping that. Forgive me. What's Rob Corddry's name? What's his character's name?
Joe.
I'm really hoping that, because we've seen Joe pick up a lot of those responsibilities, and still their relationship, even with this episode, has been tense. Yeah. So I'm hoping that Joe will end up being the, hey, I know you're doing this and this big business and all this stuff, but remember when we started and who we started with. I'm hoping that is coming down the road. So I'm hoping this is building towards that. Again, very hopeful that we are planning ahead.
So the other storyline, there were two more that we saw, was a familiar one, Vernon and Fat Reggie, always in hijinks. And so this time, the owner of the Cowboys, what is the fake Cowboys owner name?
Oh my God!
I was thinking the same thing.
I blank on it all the time because in my mind, Cowboys Jerry Jones, the OG owner, obviously he is Jerry Jones-esque in his portrayal, but obviously they've given him a different name. So he calls up Joe to let him know that he has intel that not only is Vernon still involved with High Powered, he's also foregone his payment for the endorsement and is now a partner in the Grow House for the cannabis, the CBDs that we saw them visiting last week. So I'm assuming that Joe okayed it after the visit and go through. What do we feel about that storyline? The owner is threatening to cut Vernon because of his involvement, and Reggie's not having it.
That argument was hilarious, number one. But did you win? I feel like I'm always the first one to talk about marijuana every time.
Well, I didn't really have an issue with them going into it because I always if I associate rappers endorsing something, but I understand from what you're saying that the league is very against it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, if you know the league is against something and you want to play, you just can't do it.
Yeah,
no,
especially as a player.
You know,
he's
so
not gonna be the one to change
I think it's
that.
Reggie's fault, though. I mean,
definitely.
Reggie really wants to feel like he's doing something good to help him, and if no one else is going to do it, then he's going to do what he knows, which maybe the weed he knows, and it makes sense to him. But
and it gives Reggie something to do.
Exactly.
Oh,
he needs something to do.
But it's also a big difference, like between the sponsorship and making little money on the side and getting clothing to like the full-on investment points is like a big warning sign. So I'm not surprised that when that information got to them, that he flipped out the way he did.
Well, everyone's investing in marijuana right now.
Exactly. So it's really going to... Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, they probably
I've
are
too. Because you can, just buy on Ameritrade, but...
You say you've gotten stocks?
I have gotten
That's
stocks.
so smart because it's a multi-billion-dollar business.
It really
so
is.
it's going to turn into, does he want this business venture or does he want to play?
Once it's completely legal.
And football players, they don't really get to play that long. It's not something you can play up until you're like 45, 50.
The average NFL career is 3 years.
And they don't manage their money well either. So if he wants to invest in something like that, you can't go wrong.
Get a shell company.
Right,
your financial advisor should have told you to get a shell company and go in under the radar and then endorse it later.
Yeah, so instead of
he's
saying
too loud
don't
and bold
do it,
with it.
exactly, get a different company name, hire someone else to be in charge of it.
That's what
that's what they're supposed to be doing, but they're not. They're so focused on what they want to accomplish for themselves.
All right, so
Rude.
our fourth storyline, again, dealing with a man asserting himself and trying to figure out his role in things. It's between Seifert and Charles. There's obviously power plays going on. Larry is playing Charles a little bit, dangling, manipulating him to do his biting or to take the hits that he doesn't want. What do we think is happening with this relationship? Because now Larry has always been sort of a very blunt and not coddling type of person. That's football. But I thought Charles was supposed to be like his prized pupil, and I don't understand why the attitude has changed so much and why he's being so defensive with him.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm like, their relationship dynamic is changing like for the worse, really, because I thought it wasn't most like a partnership, but I thought that he was going to take him under his wing and be a little bit, I don't know, he's just become so mean, you know what I mean? And he wants like Charles to do a lot of the heavy lifting that Charles may not be ready for. I think he can do it, but he's not getting the proper training to me. It's just a lot of they argue too much.
He's purposely doing that, though. Seifert took him under his wing, but you know what? Charles actually is ready, so he's belittling him. It's all about ego. So instead he's like, I don't think we want to take Hassan. But then Jason calls like, yeah, we'll take him, because now it looks like Seifert is in charge. He's calling the shots, that Charles is overstepping. But it's like, but you saw something in him, so now you're upset with him?
Yeah. Or do y'all feel like maybe Larry thinks that Charles could take his place and he's becoming insecure? That's what I'm starting to see.
I feel like that's always, kind of looking in the rearview mirror, especially in the sporting industry where jobs can be replaced. You can be moved out of your job at any given time. And if the Dolphins of ballers are similar to the Dolphins of the real NFL, it could be a very real proposition. There's some things going on. So my concern, though, also is obviously Seifert and the coach have some type of beef as well, because the coach was like, I want Hassan. Hassan got his tryout with the Dolphins. He's a running back that is looking to light it up, and I guess apparently he can help the Dolphins, although running backs aren't the superstar position that they once were, but he can help them. And Seifert's just like, no, I don't trust him. No conversation.
But then why did they let him run? That was weird. That's confusing.
I mean, sometimes that stuff is political as far as letting a trial go through or maybe feeling things. But I feel like he knew on the phone in the office that he didn't want Hassan for the same reasons. And if his workout wasn't going to change his mind at all, why waste everyone's time, realistically?
Yeah.
It's a power play.
Yeah, it's got to be the political.
Yeah, because he gets to make the final decision.
Yeah. Well, I think also, too, like, he brought him in and he was green and fresh and new to this world. And so he kind of, like, gave him training wheels, and just now he's like, the training wheels are off. You've been here, you've been promoted, you've been around for a while, so this is how it really is. I feel like Seifert is like this is just who he is, like, to everybody.
Just
because even in the way the other coach reacted, he's like, That's just
doesn't
how
care.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're used to how he acts, you know. So it's kind of like you're only going to get coddled and people are going to be nice to you because you're new for so long.
That's true. And Jason didn't seem concerned that Seifert walked out. He thought it was just part of his negotiating, his demeanor and so forth. So what was the moment of the episode for you? What sort of defined the episode, or what was your favorite moment of this episode tonight?
I enjoyed the conversation with Strasmore and Joe in the car and their little bonding moment and their decision to leave the Bentley truck
Right?
all alone.
Shout out to that.
Someone came up
I've never
on that.
seen that before. I was like, oh my God.
I love how it was
that's
like
not-
an Escalade car, a BMW. It was like
An Audi
all,
in the
like,
back.
nicest,
Yeah, I saw
like,
that
Shout out to
Like-
product
like-
placement, because those are
Right.
just dropping on the market. Kudos to you.
I was like, wow, I'm
Kudos.
broke.
Basically.
Damn.
It's more than I make in a year.
So what about you, Suzette?
If you were watching this close enough or watched it twice, we feel like maybe Ricky either is having a memory loss, maybe it's stress because of the baby, or because at first he forgot that he sent roses, then he walked in the wrong house. So, and this is my whole thing with Spencer kind of like leaving him high and dry is, you need that money manager, you need that role model maybe when you're going through some of these things. So I don't know, like, is there something wrong with him? Is it stress? But that's the one thing about this show is like sometimes things are happening, which we talked about, either so fast or if you blink, like last week's episode, seeing that Spencer had his pain medication, that was in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
If you didn't really watch it, you'd miss that. And these are key things that we need to be catching.
For carrots for later.
Yeah.
Did I get you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, go ahead,
But
Ivanna.
I think the funniest part to me was just like the argument like with Joe and then he like threw the phone out Spencer threw the phone out the window.
Which has been Spencer's thing every season, throwing away his phone.
he's
So
always
now he's
throwing the
throwing
phone.
somebody else's phone away.
That was funny to me. Yeah, that's all.
So my moment was actually between Amber and Ricky, because Ricky just came barreling to her house like, where are you going? Why? So I'm confused, Ricky. First she was a thought, now you have these feelings. They've only known each other for about 6 weeks. 6 weeks ago was when they hooked
He's definitely
up.
softening up though.
He's softening, but I'm so confused because he said Amber was thoughtalicious a little bit. She doesn't seem to be coming off that way. And where's she moving to?
She has
Not
some
at all.
place.
Was she
has
already
money
planning to move?
out.
Her
Who
place is nice too.
Yeah, but where's she
Who
getting
is
all that money
planning
from?
to move after when you're 2 months pregnant? Who's doing that?
Yeah, you can still live there and not see Ricky.
Right.
It's like they're very dramatic. I mean, she's climbing over his fence. Like, it's a lot going on
It
here. Come on.
is. It's
So I'm just kind of like, I'm for this storyline. I'm for maybe them eventually hooking up, but I'm kind of like, I get that it's a difficult situation and they're figuring each other out and feeling their way, but it feels very disjointed the way that it's put together.
It's definitely telenovela.
Yeah.
It's very dramatic.
Okay, so let's go back and talk about Wayne Hastings. So he's waiting to have lunch with Spencer and Joe to talk about the Raiders' move. Spencer and Joe have to go put out other fires. They have to figure out about Vernon getting cut. But it turns out to actually be a blessing in disguise because they get to talk to the Cowboys owner, whose name I'm blanking on again, to get him on board for the Raiders' move.
Right.
Yeah,
And
and he's interested
for
because he
it.
hears about Wayne
Yeah.
Hastings.
Yes, and he
Exactly.
likes Wayne.
It
So
turned out to
everybody
be-
Wayne Hastings is everybody's hero.
Yeah. Like all you have to do is just say the name.
And
They
people
wanna
get
be
excited.
there.
Wayne Hastings Jr.
Yeah.
Junior.
We
Because
heard that
his
at the
dad
end.
was something else.
Yes.
So tell me about your thoughts about that, the last scene wrapping up, and where do you think this is going to go going forward as far as Spencer involvement with the Raiders and Wayne and all the other storylines tonight? Because we got to wrap.
Well, I love Steve. It's Steve Guttenberg. I love him, which I loved Andy Garcia last season. So it's
Right.
like, please don't just throw them away. Like, I want to continue with these like strong men and keeping
They're
the story
probably
going.
expensive.
Yes. Well, I mean, we did see a little bit of them at a meeting for the next episode, and maybe there's an issue with money. But I mean, that's hard when you have all these really high power billionaire men who all want a piece of the puzzle, and maybe they all want to be on top. It's like maybe it's Spencer's idea, but maybe at the end of the day, maybe someone else will take the credit still.
Nate, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for there to be some progress. So hopefully it'll come together now that we've got these two parties together and they've got some endorsement from the league. So the league's not going to be their enemy. Hopefully we will get more progress, at least on the Vegas team front than just like, hey, I'm trying to get a team. You trying to make a team? You trying to pull a team? And he's just like telling everybody the same.
Really
thing.
quick, what was with Chloe being with him? Like she was gonna fly
She works
with him?
for, well, that's where her and Spencer hooked up. Remember when they went to
Yes.
Vegas? She works.
I don't know if she worked for him or at the casino. I wasn't sure.
Well, it says casino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ditto
Yeah.
what he said, but I'm really worried about Ricky though, because how do you just walk up in the wrong house like that? And then he punched the kid, and then now he's like,
And the kid was like,
now
I know who you are.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, now I need Spencer. So you made a good point. Like this is the point where he definitely needs Spencer.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I really want to see that what their relationship dynamic is now. You know, with Spencer being quite narrow-minded, you know, he's
Busy.
stuck on other stuff. So I really want to see what happens with that.
And still owing Ricky some money.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
So I guess that's it for episode 4 of season 3.
Yes.
We have a lot of cliffhangers that we'll get back to to see if we wrap up with anything next week as far as the Dallas connection with Dallas Raiders and Wayne Hastings. We all want them to get together and meet. We want to see what happens with Amber and anything else. Any predictions before we go?
I mean, I'm from Dallas, so I'm excited to see where this goes.
Okay.
Nate, predictions?
No, I'm excited to, get some plot
I'll say
progression.
mine.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff to look forward to from this episode.
Excited for Joe to get a new phone too.
Right. I just want to, I want to see Amber's belly get bigger. I want to see, Ricky be
my.
tender.
I want to see that storyline progress. I really do. I'm still hoping we see his mother.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
This like
Every
amazing
episode
woman
where
that
especially
raised
with the health
him.
scare too, that could.
Yeah, it would bring her
Yes.
out because that is a missing piece of the equation.
Yes.
Well, make sure you're back here next week for episode 5, Ballers.
Halfway
9
through.
p.m. We're halfway through the
gosh.
season.
Oh,
we do have
are.
some guests coming up. I can't just say who yet, but we have some guests coming up.
excited.
So make sure you're following me, Jill Munroe, at Stiletto Jill everywhere. Suzette, where can they find you?
You can find me. Everything's the same. It's under Suzette Babb at Twitter and Instagram.
Nate Miller, you can find me at Dog Like Nate.
I'm Ivanna Williams. You can find me on Twitter at Ivanna L. Williams.
We will see you here next week. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. If you're listening on iTunes, 5 stars.
Oh yeah.
See you next
Thanks,
time.
guys. See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.